There is no guessing when you're making a patchwork quilt or a block or even any quilt for that matter. A pattern leads the way. Today we're going to talk about how to read a pattern because it is a very important skill to have if you're going to make quilts. Hello and welcome. If this is a first time meeting, hi. I'm Jackie with Jackie Russell Creates, where we talk about everything quilting. I want to inspire you to make traditional quilts as well as art quilts. Now let's talk about reading patterns so we can begin making that wonderful quilt. We know we're going to need a pattern of some kind. You can get patterns for quilts lots of different places. You can get them from magazines, books, one-offs at quilt shops or online. You can even get PDFs that you print off on your home printer. The pattern is your roadmap to your quilt that you're going to make. The most fundamental thing I can tell you about reading a pattern is that you should read it all the way through, from the beginning to the end. It's like reading a recipe. You should read it all the way through. Not many ever do, right? Well, a few of us might, but it is a very, very good idea. Same thing goes for quilt patterns. It is your recipe to making that quilt. I know I'm guilty of not reading the pattern first. I don't know how many times I have started a quilt and then realized I needed something else to finish that project. Your quilt tells you a few things. First, you read all the way through, making sure there's no surprises in there. Then you can take a closer look at what the pattern gives you. The pattern should always give you the finished size. This one's a 60 by 60. It also gives you the finished size of the block, which is a 12 by 12. That means the finished size of the block means that it's all the seam allowances are accounted for after having been sucked in from all the sewing that you've been doing. Another thing that your pattern is going to tell you is the fabric requirements. It should tell you what you need for piecing the pieces together, the binding, and the back fabric, how much it needs. So this one gives you your materials, that's how much you need. It gives you your cutting instructions here. It also gives you the cutting instructions for the block. Sometimes it will give you tips for piecing, like the order to put the pieces together. Sometimes you'll have pictures or diagrams like this displayed here. Sometimes it will just be the wording, but most of the time you'll have some kind of diagram. Make sure you're doing it right. Another thing that it will tell you is the layout of the quilt. Once you have all your blocks pieced together, it should give you a finished layout. Like this diagram here, sometimes it may just be something that looks like that. Sometimes it may give you suggestive ways to do the finished quilting. Sometimes it don't. It gives you the option to quilt it how you want. So all that information is in the pattern. If you have a good pattern, well written, you should be in really good hands. And one last tip before we get back to quilting. If you decide to do a different colorway than what's pictured, I recommend sketching it out with colored pencils on either graph paper or an index card. That way you can see what it will look like in the colors that you choose, for one. But when you're looking at the pattern and you're looking here at this magenta and it's telling you to cut so many pieces and you're like, okay, mine's not magenta, mine is now blue, you can be able to distinguish and cut the right size. I hope this gives you a little bit more information or idea about what your pattern will give you, how to read it, and how to follow it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I would like for you to comment in the comments below what your favorite quilt pattern is. You know, we're a community here, And you never know, you may be able to help someone else pick their next pattern. And if you feel like sticking around, please subscribe and give that notification bell a ring. That way you know the next time that I post a video. I try to post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. If you have quilting friends or someone that wants to get into quilting, whether it be friends or family, share this video or my channel. It really does help, and I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, happy quilting, my friends.